Hey everybody, today I got something good for you. If you ever go to an Indian restaurant, this is a staple. It's either the rice or the naan bread, and sometimes it's both. Naan bread is what's happening, and you do not need yeast. This is a recipe. You should have all these ingredients already in your household and you can get it done. The first thing you want to do is melt the butter on low heat. You're going to add some milk to it and you're just going to cook it. While that is slowly melting and combining, you can go ahead and mix the dry ingredients. You're going to need some baking powder. You're going to need some baking soda, some sugar, and a little bit of salt. Now I have about a quarter teaspoon here, a quarter teaspoon there. You know what? If you have a little bit more, don't worry about it if it's exactly half a teaspoon, anything like that. Just what you think. Use your own judgment. Because once again, you're trying to learn how to do this. You're gonna mix it up, and then go back to your melted butter mixture. Once it completely melts, take it off the stove, let it cool down a little bit, and then you're going to add in some yogurt. Once you add in the yogurt, you're going to slowly mix that into your dry ingredients. Now, I love this recipe. There's very few recipes that I've made where I can say, oh man, this tastes exactly like you get in the restaurant. Exactly like you get in some of the restaurants, and you will want to do it again. See, now you see I'm slowly mixing it in. Now I could dump it all in at one time, but I wanted to give the flour a chance to mix a little bit. Add a little bit in, stir it up, and then I add the rest of it in there. You can add a little bit more flour just to make sure the mixture is consistent, but you don't want to have too much. So you want to slowly mix it in and be sure it comes out right. And you just see me stirring it up. It's already sticking together. Now I know it's ready to form into a ball. I'm going to put some flour down on the table. I'm going to knead the bread a little bit. Just make sure it's the right consistency. Anyway, this it tastes exactly like it does in a restaurant. This is going to be a staple. And how I know it tastes good is when my son and my wife start licking their fingers. Well, of course they don't do that, but when they start eating it and they get that look on their face where I know that they're enjoying it, that lets me know that I did a great job with this recipe. And I did it with this one. So this is once again going to be a staple. And I think that's the best feeling. When the people that you love what you're doing, it makes you want to do it more. And that's part of the reason why I started wanting to cook. Now, naan bread and Indian food was not part of my original idea when I wanted to learn how to cook, but the opportunity came and I made it, and it's becoming a staple. You want to cover it with plastic and let it sit for about 30 minutes or longer. You can let it sit for even longer than that, but at least 30 minutes, not less than that. So you're going to spread more flour onto the surface, and now you're going to make 4 balls. This should make about 4 pieces of naan. If you want to make more, you can make smaller pieces, or you can just make one really big one. It always depends on the size of your pan, but it's going to make about 4 regular sized pieces of naan. So I'm trying to make 4 equal sized balls, and you know what? It doesn't have to be as equal. Just like when you roll it out, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. This is going to, matter of fact, you want it to look homemade. So just make it how you want it to look, and so here we are. We're going to make sure everything is covered well enough in flour, and add a little bit more if you have to. Flatten it out as far as you can, and then roll it out. You want it to be about a half a centimeter thick. You don't want it to be too thin like a tortilla. You want to be thick enough where it can puff up a little bit. So half a centimeter, half of your fingertip thickness. You're going to see it once I pick it up. So I'm just rolling it out. I'm starting off trying to make it into a semicircle. I'm getting as flat as I can, almost not as flat as I can, but almost very, very flat, but with a little bit of thickness left. Now I'm picking it up, look at it. So now I'm going to wipe off the extra dust. I'm going to flip it in my hands a few times, make sure the consistency is good, and also, man, it just feels good when you're flipping it over. I can tell that I feel like it's going to fit all right. Now, you want to turn on your skillet. You want a heavy bottom skillet, such as a cast iron, on low to medium heat. A cast iron makes sure the whole pan is evenly heated. The other pans don't do as good a job as a cast iron. I used to wonder why my mom used to cook in a cast iron. They weren't always the prettiest, but they were doggone it, they worked and they were very consistent. These new pans, these Teflons or whatever, they just don't do the same as a cast iron. But anyway, I'm not gonna go on the soapbox here, but Look at the cast iron skillet. Look how evenly it's cut. You can tell from the lines and everything. Now, my cast iron does have grill lines on it. That's why you have the grill lines like that. But other than that, you can just get a regular one. That's not necessary, but a cast iron does work. What I need to be telling you right now is that you want to watch it bubble up. When it starts to bubble up, you know that it's turning out right. It's the right temperature. You're going to wait till there's quite a few air bubbles, about 30 seconds, 45 seconds on one side. Then you want to flip it over and hit it again about 35, 45 seconds. And you better tell when the bread is cooked long enough. It has a look to it, and then you pick it up and it has a feel to it. Wipe out any extra flour and put your next piece in. And look at that. It should come out decently like that, and it's going to taste amazing. To pair this up, I made some buttered chicken to go with it, and there you see on the plate. And when I dipped it in, it was delicious. Please like and subscribe if you like this video and you want some more.